Guys, here we are back with a new build. 2012 BMW S1000RR. Picked this bike up from Copart the other day. Won it at auction. Listed non-running as driving. Not sure if it runs. It doesn't look the best, especially right here. We got major damage on the stator cover, generator cover, and there's actual dirt and grime just actually inside there, so that's not a good sign. Frame appears to have no damage to it. Forks look straight. There was some small damage to the forks right here. That kind of sucks. The wheels I thought were perfect, but upon further inspection I see there is a small crack somewhere in one of these. It's in the rear one. It's like right here on the other side. So that kind of sucks. Exhaust is pretty badly damaged. Muffler wasn't really too bad, but it's got pretty bad damage right there. Water pump cover. It's just missing coolant line right there. The tank has a hole right in it, as well as rashing obviously on this side. This side it fell on this side right here, and it's missing quite a bit. Something I didn't even notice in the pictures, it's missing its shifter, which I believe includes the quick shifter, because that's supposed to be plugged into a quick shifter, and that is actually quite an expensive part. So obviously the rear set is missing as well. A little bit of damage up here. Swing arm doesn't appear to have any damage. It's obviously hard to tell right now until I clean it up, because the bike is covered in oil and dirt. Still has the cluster. The battery was completely dead. I pulled it out. It doesn't even take a charge, so I'm gonna swap a new battery in there, see if I can get the cluster to at least come on. I don't want to try to start it up. Obviously, there's dirt inside of the engine, so we're not gonna try to start it up right away. I'm gonna do a little bit closer inspection today, see what's really going on with it. Obviously there's gonna be some hidden things. Not sure 100% if I want to rebuild it, because I don't know if the engine even runs. So we're gonna see about getting the engine started, see if it runs good. If it runs good, probably gonna rebuild it. This has been a dream bike of mine for quite a while. But like I said, bought it as not running and driving, so it's anybody's guess if the motor is even still good. So the motor doesn't appear to have any other damage other than over on this side, which is just the cover. And like I said, maybe the stator needs replaced as well, most likely. So I'm gonna start with swapping the stator out and that cover. That cover is like a $250, $300 cover, so I was pretty surprised to see how expensive that was. But I kind of assumed everything was gonna be expensive on this. It's a BMW, so. Bar end handlebar just ground down. Levers are destroyed. Front fairing stays toast. It's just missing one of its headlights completely. Came with a set of earplugs though, so that's a bonus. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's start tearing that cover off, see if we can get this thing started, see if it's even worth rebuilding. Go. Got some lights going. It's in 5th gear, obviously. I didn't even know that because the shifter's broken. 17,000 miles. Fuel pump seems to prime. Let's get into it. getting these bolts out. Let's get this cover off. Alrighty, got the cover pulled off, a couple strip bolts. Well, never stripped or ground down. A couple ground down bolts had to remove. A couple damaged bolts. There's the cover. I've seen a couple of covers online, and I'm not sure they come with this bearing. I'm not sure if that needs pressed in. So that's gonna be interesting. The gears go right up in there. Luckily, it all looks really good, honestly. I mean, considering the flywheel is damaged, you can see right here, ground down and bent. It's not a perfect circle anymore, so need to get a new flywheel. This stator honestly doesn't look damaged, but there was so much dirt and it was in the area that was damaged, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and replace that stator, replace that flywheel, replace that cover. That looks like the majority of the engine damage. And then over here, it is just missing this hose, coolant hose that goes to the water pump right there. So I believe, in theory, get this hose. And I get these parts over here. Change the oil, because there shouldn't be really any oil left. I don't see any oil in the window. It was sitting on its side, so probably all the oil is gone. Put some new oil in it. Check the coolant. Just try to start it up. So I'm not really sure if the motor's good. It seems to turn over. Goes into this gear is fine. There's no way to know if it runs though until I get these parts, because these are pretty important parts in order for it to run. It's not gonna run without this flywheel or stator or the cover. So gotta get all that. Probably gotta get a new gasket as well. So we're gonna order all those parts. I assume it'll probably take a little bit of time for those to come in. So we're just gonna be waiting on those parts for a couple weeks. Fingers crossed though, that's all we need. When I turn the key, I believe the fuel pump primes. Pretty sure that's the fuel pump priming. I've never had a BMW, so I'm not really sure what the fuel pump sounds like. Pretty sure that's it priming. So I'm pretty sure we got fuel pump priming. Got a new battery in there. So let's get these parts ordered, see if we can get this bike running. Stay tuned.